Hey, this is Scott from Happen to Your Career, and we work with people all the time, helping them discover what they can be great at and moving to work that they love. Now, I get asked on a regular basis, how do I actually figure out what it is that I want to do and what I can do? And we'll direct people often back to square one, which we consider, what are your signature strengths? We've got to be able to answer that question first. So let me tell you what we define as signature strengths. That's a Happen to Your Career term. We consider your signature strengths to be those things that you can be the best in the world at. And, you might be asking yourself right now, Scott, there's probably nothing I'm going to be the best in the world at. But when we talk about signature strengths, everybody's got unique advantages and everybody's got things that truly and authentically make them. And you have the exact same thing. So those signature strengths, another way to think about it are those things that when you are doing them, when you are actively engaged in those type of activities that leverage those strengths, then you lose track of time because you're enjoying it so much. It doesn't feel like work to you if it's applied in a work environment. There are those things that feel much more like play because they're engaging the right parts of your brain that make you authentically you. Now, what I found is that most people have no idea what those are. Most people are kind of like, I kind of sort of like public speaking, or I kind of sort of like, some stuff in accounting, or I kind of, I like to program some code. But they haven't necessarily spent the time and effort and energy to go much, much, much further and peel back layer after layer after layer to understand, well, if it's code that I like, what is it about the coding? And, if it is that creation process, what is it I like about the creation? And if it is whatever it happens to be, when you pull back that layer after layer after layer, you can really start to understand yourself and those signature strengths and really define what it is that you do in fact have the potential to be great at. So those signature strengths, we've identified that they're not only difficult to find, but you have to understand how the real world works for discovering those too. It's not a process where you're just going to magically say, wow, I woke up one day and rainbows and unicorns popped out and voila, I found my strengths. The best way that you find these, the very, very best way, is by trying lots and lots of things and getting outside your comfort zone. And guess what? When you're outside your comfort zone, that is uncomfortable for most people. So here's the way that you can actually do that in real life. You need to strategically and intentionally take on those new things that are outside your comfort zone. And some ways you might be able to do that is take on a new project. That can be at work, that can be outside of work, that can be at home, that can be, any place along those lines, but it has to make you uncomfortable. When you think about it, you've got to get a little bit of butterflies. And when you go and do that, when you do that for the first time, guess what? You're going to be terrible at it. Whatever it is, it's pretty likely you're going to be bad. And that's okay. When you go back to do it again, you're going to get a little bit better and a little bit better. And when you start to lose some of that discomfort, that's the point in time where you can start to measure, is this something that I really enjoy? If so, what are the pieces of it, the individual pieces that I actually really, really like, and what are the pieces that I don't like? And it's through that continual feedback loop where you try something and you intentionally reflect on it and intentionally decide, hey, I like this, I don't so much like this. And then you slowly, over time, start to get rid of more of the parts that you really dislike. And that's how you can actively start working in your strengths. This is something that if you start right now, then you'll be able to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from years get closer and closer and closer to working in those things that are just amazing and those things that you have the potential to be great at, and get rid of more of that work that feels like work and get much more of that work that actually feels like play to you. Hey, if this has been helpful to you, if this has made you think about something a little bit differently, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. You'll see it right down there in the corner. And then you'll get updates on videos that we'll send out regularly with more stuff to help you find and do work that you love. Thanks. This is Scott from Happen to Your Career.